Hi everyone, today is Thursday, July 5th, and I wanted to say good evening from the global economic north. Today's video is, or just this video, is going to be called something like a book review. Patricia Schneider, Writing Alone and with Others. And I think I'm going to do some more videos about different book, or do more book review videos, because I've also been asked to excuse me, sorry, talk more about as well what my opinions are on different books that I have read, because I do read a lot. So the reason why I chose this book, Writing Alone and with Others, I actually found out about this book when I joined a writer's group in the demographic that I live in. It's a very urban demographic, and there's just a lot of things happening. So I thought, with a lot of the different things unfolding and happening in my life, I wanted to, figure out how to also contribute to how knowledge is produced and who is actually writing this stuff. And so I've always been interested in how to improve my writing so that I could publish a book one day. And I actually want to get into writing books and, sort of writing my my positions on different issues. And I get a lot of feedback from people who are like, wow, I just never thought about things that way, or can we see your papers, your research papers, or do you have any writing that we can access? And I thought about that over the years, and I was actually gonna create a website and just put all my papers up there, my research papers, because I had about 42 research papers. And but someone said to me, don't do that, because what could happen is somebody could actually be dishonest and pass my work as their work, and them get paid and me not get paid. So I joined this writers group in this urban demographic that I am in the global economic north. And I thought to myself, this would be a really good way to improve my writing skills. So I was looking at the website of this group, and they said that they use a specific type of methodology to encourage people to write, and it's called the Amherst method, stemming from Amherst, Massachusetts. So this person by the name of Patricia Schneider, I don't know too much about her, but she does have this website, and she talks a lot about how to use writing as a form of addressing justice issues, but also bringing people together. And I thought, that's pretty cool to actually write together with people, because you can look at it as sort of this exercise to just get people to come together, especially living in an urban demographic where everybody is very, very self-absorbed, and it's very, very different in this demographic that I'm in Central East Canada versus when I was in Western Canada, where people are polite because they feel they have to be polite. But here in this urban demographic, people are actually very honest. They're very authentic. If they don't like you, they will not say that they don't like you. They'll show you a lot of body language to say so. So I read this book, and I was really, really, really moved by the message to authenticate your own writing and write in your own voice. So I did take some notes in a notebook. I still do handwriting stuff. I don't do everything on a cell phone. And one quote that really resonated, actually I made note of a few quotes, but one is on page XX, and it says, "Let go and tell the truth of what you have experienced or imagined." And I thought to myself, that is what writing should be about, because the system in Canada teaches you, the basic system teaches you to write in this way that is very, very unnatural and not very authentic. Excuse me, but when you get into like university streams, and depending what you take in university, you can actually develop your own voice further, but I wanted to know how to develop different ways of developing my voice. So, a lot of people have said, "Oh, Livin, you speak very well, and you have some very interesting positions on different issues, and why don't you write about it? Why don't you do something with writing?" So I thought to myself, what I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna I would like to get into film, and present some of my stuff in film, but book as well as film, but I have to improve my writing. So when I say improve my writing, I want to write from my own voice. I'm not sure if I should use profanity sometimes, or just speak the voice, because sometimes you just get into these moments where you use different types of languages, but I'm not sure if I want to censor myself, because I support no censorship of anything. I do believe that, well, not belief, but when you allow a person to speak, that is also part of the rebuilding process. So I just want to be able to contribute to just like the body of knowledge that is produced out there. There's a lot of people writing stuff about the black community that are not even from the black community. Or you have like this thinking that suggests that, black folks should just sort of fuck the thing that lynched their balls or whatever. And you know what? I think that we really need to be authentic as a group, but also capture our individual voices. So, I don't know, I have some quotes here, and I don't know, I'm just trying to see which one I should read. What was also interesting is that this text also, I'm just looking at my notes here in this book, the text by Pat Schneider also, tries to say that, sort of reposition writing as being a form of art. And I've never been sort of an artsy type of person, or maybe, I just never was introduced to art in a way to sort of see it more than just sort of stereotypical things of mainstream or generic things of art. So I am just looking at this way, or these tips in this book, to actually help me authenticate my own voice and also write from like different perspectives. So one thing really good about the book is that this book by Pat Schneider, is that it also gives you a lot of exercises to try and get out of the voice that you're comfortable with. And for example, try writing a dialogue, or using like different, what do they call them? Prompts, different prompts. And I didn't know anything about this, like writing prompts. I was like, what is a prompt? But it's a very good book that has a lot of different ways to practice your writing. So I don't know, let me see here. On page XXII, it says, there is a quote that stood out. It says, those whose language skills are impaired nevertheless have a story, and if it can be told in the unique and idiosyncratic form of the author's own way with words, it can be brilliant. If we value the voices of those who have been denied a voice, we can have a canon of literature so much more diverse, interesting, and humane than the canon we do have. All people are writers who can, if they so desire, claim their writing as personal and perhaps public art form. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. And on page 11, there's another quote that says, "Fiction is just another way to tell the truth." And you know, I thought that this quote was really interesting because I'm working on a text right now about my experiences with being racially profiled and being racially profiled in a biomedical way. And I came up with a draft title for my text, and you know, I'm like, should I write this as from my voice, or should I flip it into a voice like, you know, like in fiction, for example. And my hopes is to work on this text, get this text completed, but write from my voice, and then produce this text into a film to try and also contribute to new policy and new legislation that will actually protect the rights of black single mothers who have been biomedically profiled by the Western biomedical system. So I could never see myself, you know, writing about how the paper was just floating in the sky and having like a lot of this meaningless stuff. I find that my writing is more effective when it's very from my own voice, and a lot of people said, you know, when you speak sometimes, you know, it's very provocative and it's very, very, you know, inspiring, so you should, you know, go further with it. So that's my bit about Writing Alone and with Others by Pat Schneider. There's another, you know, that she has quite a few nice, really nice quotes. Let me see. You know, she's talking about how ways to structure your writing environment, ways to structure your writing, different writing exercises. Like, she was saying that, you know, there's an exercise that you can do, and I thought maybe this would help me learn how to write a script for a film. And she said, pretend that you're actually in dialogue, like your parent and maybe a grandparent or an aunt or something, and write what one person is saying, but write the response to what that person is saying. So you're coming from like two different positions, and you know, just write things back and forth. And I thought, okay, I'll try that, because that will also help me in developing sort of different positions when I'm putting together a script to become film. So on page 38, there's a quote that says, "Believe in your own stories, your own meanings, cooperate with yourself by letting your habits and preferences work for you." And there's another one that's on page 62. It says, another quote, it says, "The secret to a disciplined writing life, in my opinion, is primarily a matter of respect for your own deepest instincts, habits, and personality. Go to your writing simply because you love to write. Know your own habits and let them work to assist you." Page 62. So on that note, just wanted to share some thoughts about that book by Pat Schneider called Writing Alone and with Others. And I actually ordered the book from the local public library system, so I was glad to access it that way. I'm also an alumni of a university that I went to, and I'm just sort of in between my studies right now because I'd like to continue to finish my PhD, but I think I also need a break to try and figure out how to navigate things when you're living in a very, very problematic colonial society that is called Canada. So, thank you for watching my video. I do appreciate your comments. If you'd like to provide some feedback, just leave me a note. I guess YouTube modified things now where you can't send people personal messages or confidential messages, so just leave your comment and I'll get back to you when I can. Thanks for watching my video, and have a good one wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.